Hello Word. Welcome everyone to another episode of Hello Word, the podcast that explores the fascinating world of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. In today's episode, we're going to delve into the meaning and usage of the word church. Church is an A2 level noun meaning a place for Christian worship. So, what exactly is a church? Well, simply put, a church is a building specifically designed for Christian religious activities, most commonly worship services. It's a place where Christians gather to pray, sing hymns, listen to sermons, and participate in religious ceremonies. Think of it as a spiritual home for the Christian community. You'll often find churches marked with a cross, either on top of the building or somewhere prominently displayed. Now, let's explore some synonyms for the word church. A close synonym is chapel. For example, the small chapel on the hill offered a peaceful retreat. Another related word is cathedral. Keep in mind that a cathedral is a specific type of church, usually larger and more significant, often serving as the seat of a bishop. For instance, we visited the magnificent cathedral in the city center. A less formal synonym, especially when referring to the community of worshipers, is congregation. For example, the congregation welcomed the new pastor with open arms. You could also use the word sanctuary, which refers to the most sacred part of the church or the church building itself as a place of refuge. For example, the refugee family sought sanctuary in the local church. Okay, so we've covered synonyms. Now let's flip the coin and look at antonyms. Finding direct antonyms for church can be a little tricky since it's a specific place. However, we can consider places of secular gathering as contrasting concepts. A possible antonym in this context could be theater. While a church is a place for religious worship, a theater is a place for entertainment and performance. For example, the community held a play at the local theater. Another contrasting space could be a museum. A museum is dedicated to preserving and displaying artifacts, while a church is dedicated to religious practice. We learned about ancient civilizations at the museum. Another option might be a school, as the primary function of a school is education, not worship. For example, the children attend the school down the street. Thinking even more broadly, a home could be considered an antonym in the sense that it's a private dwelling versus a public place of worship. For example, after a long day, I just wanted to go home. Or even a marketplace, a place of commerce and trade, stands in contrast to the spiritual focus of a church. For instance, the marketplace was bustling with activity. Now, let's talk about how we can use church in everyday life. You might say, I go to church every Sunday at 10 a.m. Or, the church is having a bake sale to raise money for charity. You could also say, the wedding will be held at the church. Here are some more example sentences and phrases using church. The church bells rang loudly. The stained glass windows in the church were beautiful. The church is a central part of our community. They are members of the church council. The church offers many activities for children.
We volunteered at the church food bank.
The church spire is the tallest point in town. She found solace and comfort at the church. The church is a historic landmark. The church organized a trip for the youth group. He plays the organ at the church. They clean the church after the service. The church is located on Main Street. The church is painted white. The church has a beautiful garden. The pastor of the church gave a moving sermon. The church choir sang beautifully. The church is always open to those in need. They renovated the church last year. The church is hosting a Christmas concert. That brings us to the end of another episode. Today, we've learned about the word church, an A2 level noun referring to a place for Christian worship. We discussed synonyms like chapel, cathedral, congregation, and sanctuary, and contrasted it with terms like theater, museum, school, home, and marketplace. We also explored practical examples of how you can use church in everyday conversations. Thank you for tuning in to Hello Word. Before you go, I have a small request. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the podcast and leaving us a review. Your support helps others discover our show and expand their English vocabulary. As a fun activity, try creating your own sentence using the word church and share it as a comment under the video. We'd love to see your creativity. Until next time, keep exploring the wonderful world of words.